Hi everyone, welcome to Pawpaw's Workshop. You know, in the last video I did, I built a jig to be able to put together the rustic flags. Well, in this video, I want to go into more detail on how to use the jig and be able to discuss the layout lines that I have throughout this flag and why they're there. Let's get started. In preparation to assemble this flag, one of the first things that you have to be able to do is make sure that the flag is oriented correctly. And that's why I like to lay the flag out next to the actual jig. And that way when I'm assembling it, I can take the parts from the flag and transfer them directly over to the jig without any problems on getting something mixed up, mixing up the stripes, or putting the union on the wrong side. The other thing that I have is that the clamping bars are out of the way, and that makes it where it's very convenient to be able to work with. One of the first things that you will notice is I actually have the location for the union actually drawn on the jig. Nothing worse is actually than putting the flag together backwards. So this is a reminder to be able to make sure when you flip it over correctly. And the next thing is make sure that your stars are oriented in the correct direction. So the star on this Betsy Ross flag has to be pointed up, as do the stars on the regular union for the 50 stars. The stars always point up. So in this case, I would take it from my location to the left and flip it over and lay it down right there. The next thing that I do is I typically use a 1x2 furring strip, or I'll even use a 1x4 furring strip for my actual clamp to hold the flag down. And what I've done is I'm going to get a little bit closer because I'm not sure if you can see those lines in the camera, but I have those lines actually laid out here. So if you look over here for the union, this stripe is here sitting right there. So I have the line up here that I can see to be able to center it, and I have the line down here. So there's really no need to use a tape measure. Likewise, when I'm actually doing the ends, I usually come 1.5 inches from the end of the flag, and again I have this marked so that this will give me the location on that furring strip. The next furring strip, of course, is going to be 1.5 inches from the end on this side, which is right there, and those lines are all marked. And then in between, evenly spaced, I'll have my fourth one, and that will go into this location. So that's the reason I have these spaced the way that I do. What I'm going to do is zoom in up close. This is the left side of the flag, and it shows the center line here. This line does not need to come all the way through because it's going to be covered up by the flag. And down here at the other end, you can see the center line. And I've done that on each one of the braces. So this is going to be the one for the next one. And then on the blue field, where I have the overlap, that is going to be right there. Of course, I have my line here, and I have at the other end the center line there. And on the far side to the right, I've done the same thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and lay the flag in place and show you how those reference lines become very, very important. Now I have the flag just loosely sitting in here, and the first thing I want to do is make sure that all the pieces are all pushed over next to my edge band here. Now that having that in place, the next thing is I'm going to slide these around and put them where they go. And that just slides right there. Okay, with these now in place, I can just drop these in here. I really don't need to clamp them quite yet. Because what I want to do, double check one more time, make sure that all my stripes are pushed into place. And then I can actually start positioning the clamps to be able to pull it down. And now I have my reference points so I know where not to put the clamp. So I can put a clamp right here, and that's right next to where my 1x2 is going to be going in. So that's where it'll be sitting. And again, I don't need to clamp this real tight at this point. I'm going to do the same thing here. Because of the reference points here and here, I know that my 1x4 will slide right into this location. And the next one, I have a reference point here and here. So I know where to put this one. This actually will save a lot of time because now you're not having to double the work by realizing that you made a mistake and having to take it apart and put it back together again. So there we go. I've got the clamps in place, and now all I need to be able to do, I can drop these in place and we'll start tightening them down. First thing, we'll go through and tighten this. Okay, a lot of people have asked why I put this 1/4-inch piece of wood along this edge here. And what that actually does, it raises up this piece of wood above the height of the jig. If that was not here, if this was turned over this way, this stop right here would prevent it from being able to clamp down to hold the flag in place. By raising this up the 1/4 inch, that allows you to have some clamping power to be able to push down on the flag to be able to hold it in place. So this is a question that I've had asked several different times, so I wanted to be able to give the answer here. This little 1/4-inch strip is real important. As I'm tightening the bar clamps, before I place these on, I do like to tap it. Tap this with the rubber hammer. This helps to get them into place. And then we'll tighten a little bit more. That one needs to come down. Then from there, I like to tighten the center one first. It doesn't have to be real tight. Just snug is all that you need to be able to do. Okay. And I look over at my union, make sure that everything is correct, and we'll tighten that down. One of the things I think I'm going to do in a future video is make knobs for these and get rid of the ratchet altogether. And we'll tighten this one down. And there we go. Just to double check it one more time, everything is nice and flat, everything's in place. So now all we need to do is be able to take our pieces here, put them where they need to be, and I'm ready to nail them in. So that's the process for using a jig. It's very simple, very straightforward, and very easy to do. Very effective. This will make putting the flags together so much easier. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also, check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.